Yes, my friends, something very fishy is going on, and you have every reason to be alarmed and concerned. Let me tell you what I mean. When I was traveling, particularly in Asia and specifically in India for those years, when I first began, I was getting taken advantage of in so many ways. Everywhere I turned, it was like someone was trying to manipulate me in some way, generally manipulate me out of the money that they thought that I had. Yeah. And because I was white in a country of non-white people, I stood out it was very obvious. And so when I first started traveling, man, people were coming up to me, and before I knew it, I'd be in the back of some taxi, like hours away from the city or from where I wanted to be, and just in some bizarre situation where all of a sudden they're asking me for a bunch of money, and I'm just like, oh, but how do I get back? And they're like, well, you got to pay, and blah, 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 or getting swindled out of thousands more rupees than other people, or getting into a taxi and then the taxi driver essentially holding us ransom unless we paid him some extortionate amount, and being told that places were closed and then redirected to other places, and then so many instances of essentially being hustled. That's really what it is. When I was traveling, I got hustled so many times, and a person learns from that. A person doesn't forget how that feels to be hustled, especially because just because I was a foreigner, so that really got to me, and so they were wonderful lessons, because towards the last half of my traveling career, I began to be able to pick up on these things. I began to know how to read people, to read situations and circumstances, and to read the language of the situation. So much to the point that during my last tour of India, because I was there 3 times, my last tour was by motorcycle, and I didn't get taken advantage of at all. Really at all. Because I had learned what to look for, what key elements of the situation to observe, and what is alarming and what is not. So I would see, okay, what are these people, how are they looking at me? How am I looking at them? What information do they have about me that would make them think in a certain way? What information do I have about them that would make the situation seem a certain way? What is their body language? What is their eyes telling me? What is all these factors have to come into play, and you get very good at learning to read people's intentions, and in particular, you get very good at learning how to sniff out the bullshit. Okay, because you pay for it dearly when you get hustled, when you get bullshitted. You pay for it, and it hurts. You feel it, and so you learn quickly. So, why am I telling you this? Because all of those same senses, the same way of interpreting the world and maneuvering around all of the hustle and maneuvering through the manipulation and all of this, those same senses, that same set of skills that I learned on the road through trial and error, in the battlefield, in the trenches, those same senses are telling me right now that we are being bullshitted big time, that there is something incredibly fishy going on. We'll just keep it at that. We don't even have to say the word sinister, but we'll just say fishy. Anytime that someone is trying to force something on you so hardcore and so aggressively, you have every reason for concern. You have, if I were traveling, I would see the way that they're shoving this thing down our throat. I would see that and say, whoa, this person definitely wants something from me. They are definitely trying to manipulate me. That's what the road has taught me. And it never leads me wrong. I've learned to trust my intuition, to read the situation, all the variables, and then allow my subconscious to digest it and give me an answer. and it gives me an answer in the form of a feeling that arises somewhere here, in the gut. And so I've learned how to listen to this, and it has kept me safe. It keeps me safe all the time. It keeps me away from too dicey of situations. I mean, there have been some really dicey ones in my life, but some of them will only come out in the book. But it's kept me alive and thriving through all of that. And it's because I've learned to tap in and listen to that. All right? That same thing is telling me right now, wah, 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 alert, alert, bullshit is heading your way. You are getting hustled. You can see it in the way, and I got to use code language, of course, because I don't know what the hell's, So we'll call it the yab, the soft J. Yes. So they're saying, get the yab, get the triple yab, and just do it now, because they're using all these fear tactics and all this scare terms and all this Gestapo bullshit to coerce everyone into doing something they might not want to do. All right? I don't care if you want to get the yab or if you don't want to get the yab. That is not the issue. The issue is that there must be the freedom to choose. That's the issue. You cannot be forced into putting something into your body you don't want to. I don't know. I don't know what's in it. And people will say, oh yeah, I know what's in it. No, you don't. No, you don't. No one does. We don't have any idea what the hell it's going to do. So don't try to tell me that I follow the science. Well, I follow the science. No, you regurgitate the narrative you've been fed. That's what you're doing. Just mockingbird. That's it. Okay? So, I choose to follow the science. No, you choose to be brainwashed. Actually, you don't choose anything at all. It's not a choice. That's how the whole thing works. It gets in there and it just manifests out. Go back and watch the videos that I've made about how to program yourself, about how to reprogram yourself, how subconscious belief completely drives our entire waking experience, the circumstances of our life. I know this because I have used these exact techniques of the mind to manipulate and brainwash myself. And I did that to get out of horrifying situations. Okay? Someday I will tell you more about this, but I have used the techniques of self-hypnosis and self-brainwashing, for lack of a better term, to move mountains, to completely radically transform who I am at the very core, to transform all of it. And that's how I know how powerful this stuff is and how it works and how it's being used right now on all of us. My friends, what is the oldest trick in the book when the few wish to rule the many? Divide and conquer. It was King Philip II, the father of Alexander the Great, who is credited with saying this. But essentially, keep the target population divided along any lines possible, and they will be quarreling amongst themselves. The whole while they're quarreling amongst themselves, we can just slip in there with all of our bullshit, and it'll go by unnoticed. And if we do it properly, the target population will be begging us to do it. Yes, they'll be begging us to do it. That's how this whole thing works. And we're seeing this now more than I've ever experienced in my life. Divide, divide, divide. Look at all the lines people are divided across right now. And starting a couple of years ago with the President Trump, it used to just be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I don't like the president. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm talking in the days of Clinton and Bush and all of this, and even Obama. It was, oh yeah, people had varying opinions, but it wasn't anything like it was with Trump. It was either Trump's my king, I worship him like my savior and Lord, and Trump, oh, he's our savior. Or it was Trump is a subhuman demon, deserves to burn in hell. It was these two extremes. It was not, hey, okay, let's discuss a spectrum of options. No, left or right, one or the other. Get on board. No, That's not how reality is. It's not all black or white. You know, there's gray as well. And then we've seen more and more with the pandemic. We see the division amongst maskers or non-maskers, or now yabbers or non-yabbers, yeah, or black and white. Race is a classic one. Keep the people quarreling amongst themselves because they think that there's some difference in race. But I can put that to rest right now. I've been to other parts of the world. I've been to the land of other races, and I've experienced myself. There is no difference. There is no difference. It's all made up. Race is made up. Country, nationality, made up. Religion, totally made up. The reality is that we are all human, and that's it. We are all beyond exactly the same. We are all one family in every way. Now, that's what I see. That's what I've experienced in the world. My heart tells me this through all the interactions I've had with people. I know this beyond any doubt. And that's why I'm telling you now. Do not buy in to the mind-warping propagandic bullshit of trying to tell us that we're all divided, that we're all different, and that there is, it's either left or right, or you're a vaxxer or a non-vax. Well, unvaccinated America, you see they start using terms. They coin the terms. Look up neuro-linguistic programming. Look it up. And they start using terms that create something where there is nothing, like divisions. There is no actual divisions. So we have to see this. Okay? So, what can we do? First thing that we have to do is we have to focus not on that which divides us, and instead focus on that which unites us, which is actually everything. There is nothing that divides us. I don't know how else to say this. So anytime someone tries to come at you and tell you that something is different than you know it is in your heart, critical race, because I'm white, I'm racist. Bullshit. That is absolutely not true. My whole life of experience tells me this, and I know this in my heart, so I don't care what is being fed through the propaganda machine. Yeah? Well, if you don't get the yab, you don't care about other people. Bullshit. Once again, I know in my heart, I deeply care about other people. Deeply. And there is no amount, I'm not going to make that link between that and caring about other people just because you say so. No. I know in my heart. And so we have to be careful that we don't try to question what we feel in our heart and know to be right. That we don't sacrifice that and say, well, am I just crazy? Am I being selfish? And maybe I should just get the yab or the triple yab. No, if you don't want to, don't. It's that simple. If you want to, do. It's that simple. But we cannot allow these trifling little things to divide us. The whole while while we're all anti-vaxxers, vaxxers, vaccinated America, unvaccinated America, the numbers and blah, 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 the number machine, all that's just smoke and mirrors. The whole while, the global economy, the economy in every country is being systematically demolished. That is what we're experiencing. We are witnessing a controlled demolition of the world's economies. That's what's happening. Because you have to out with the old before you can in with the new. Yes? And mark my words, my friend, we are moving into a unified world government system. That's for a whole different video, but that's where we're moving into. And so don't be surprised when with inflation and economies and shortages and all of these things happening. This is designed this way, to happen in this way. We have to, the machine got too big. The world economy machine got too big. There's too many people, and it's time to implement the new way of doing things. They even call it the Great Reset. Yes? This is for different videos, but in this one, I wanted to just say to those of you that might be feeling in your heart that I know something to be right or wrong in my heart, yet what they are telling me is opposed to this. bullshit. Listen to your heart every time, without fail. Never compromise this one rule, and everything, you will be fine in every situation. Yes? Okay, my friends. Let me know in the comments. If you watched the video this far, then you're obviously feeling this in some way. So let me know, how did you come to find this channel? That's another thing I'm wondering. I know a lot of people found it through the Master Cleanse, but how did you come to the channel? Yeah? And the Master Cleanse is wonderful, and is definitely something we should be doing. But it's only a small part of the holistically well, vibrant, thriving human existence that I'm an advocate of, that I live. Okay? So let me know your thoughts, my friends, and I will see you next time.